ये संचरन्त्य विहता विगता विशङ्काः Dwari, in the door, etayoho, both doorkeepers, Nivi Vishuhu, entered Mishatoho, while seeing Aprustva, without asking, Purvaha, as before, Yata, as Purata, made of gold, Vajra, and diamond, Kapatikaha, the doors, Yaha, which, Sarvatra, everywhere, they, Avishmaya, without any sense of discrimination. Munayaha, the great sages, Swadushtya, out of their own will, Ye, who, Sancharanti, move, Avihataha, without being checked, Vigata, without Abhishankaha, doubt. Translation and purport by Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. The great sages headed by Shanaka had opened doors everywhere. They had no idea of ours and theirs. With open minds they entered the seventh door out of their own will, just as they had passed through the 6 doors which were made of gold and diamonds. Please repeat the translation. The great sages headed by Sanaka had opened doors everywhere. They had no idea of ours and theirs. With open minds, they entered the 7th door out of their own will, just as they had passed through the 6 other doors, which were made of gold and diamonds. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The great sages, namely Sanaka, Sanatan, Sananda, Sanat Kumara, although very old in years, maintained themselves eternally as small children. They were not at all duplicitous, and they entered the doors exactly as little children enter places without any idea of what it is to trespass. That is a child's nature. A child can enter any place and no one checks him. Indeed, a child is generally welcome in his attempts to go places. But if it so happens that a child is checked from entering a door, he naturally becomes very sorry and angry. That is the nature of a child. In this case, the same thing happened. The childlike saintly personalities entered all the 6 doors of the palace and no one checked them. Therefore, when they attempted to enter the 7th door and were forbidden by the doorman, who checked them with their sticks, they naturally became very angry and sorrowful. An ordinary child would cry, but because they were not ordinary children, they immediately made preparations to punish the doorman, for the doorman had committed a great offense. Even to this day, a saintly person is never checked from entering anyone's door in India. Next verse I'll recite, Master. Tan vikshavata rasanam shaturah kumaran vruddhan dasharda vayaso viditatma tattvan vetrena chashkalayatham atad arhanam stau tejo vihasya bhagavat patrikula shilo. The 4 boy sages who had nothing to cover their bodies but the atmosphere looked only 5 years old, even though they were the oldest of all living creatures and had realized the truth of the self. But when the potters, who happened to possess a disposition quite unpalatable to the Lord, saw the sages, they blocked their way with their staffs, despising their glories, although the sages did not deserve such treatment at their hands. Purport. The 4 sages were the firstborn sons of Brahma. Therefore, all other living entities, including Lord Shiva, are born later and are therefore younger than the 4 Kumaras. Although they looked like 5-year-old boys and traveled naked, the Kumaras were older than all other living creatures and had realized the truth of the self. Such saints were not to be forbidden to enter into the kingdom of Vaikuntha, but by chance the doormen objected to their entrance. This was not fitting. The Lord is always anxious to serve sages like the Kumaras, but in spite of knowing this fact, the doormen astonishingly and outrageously prohibited them from entering. Doesn't see Bhaktivedanta Purport. Om Ajnanatimiraandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitilamne Yati Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Kumaras, when they were stopped by Jai Vijaya, so what did they feel? What is their reaction to the circumstances is elaborated here. It continues, few verses will talk about the same pattern. Dwari etayor nirvivshur mishator aprustva. Dwari, at the door, when the doorkeeper stopped them. Nivivishuhu, they were entering, mistayor aprustva, without asking, because boys, they are out of inquisitiveness, they are going everywhere. They did not ask for permission where to go, what to do. Purva yata purata vajra kapatikaya. Because they had no experience in the other 6 doors. Purvayata, they crossed the other 6 doors in the same way. Because the doors were also, how were these doors? They were decorated with gold, diamonds and most valuable metals. So they just passed through the doors without any obstruction. Sarvatrate avismaya munaya swadrushtya. So sarvatrate, they could go everywhere without any discrimination, ours and theirs. Avismaya, then Munayaha, all the great sages, Swadrushtya, out of their own will. Ye sancharanti avihita vikata abhishankaha. Ye sancharanti, they move about avihataha, without being checked by anyone. Vikata abhishankaha, and without being any doubt. Generally, somebody after experiences, we see if somebody is coming and leaving some bag and going away. People doubt. In the airport, somebody leaves a bag, people doubt. In a place, like in a temple, some other personality comes with a different attire. We doubt that personality because of past experience. But for children, there is nothing to be doubted. This is what their experience is. Because everywhere they went, nobody had stopped them. Nobody had doubted their intentions. When suddenly they were stopped, they felt it as an insult. So it says, the great sages headed by Shanaka had opened doors everywhere. Munayaha Purva yata purata vajra kapatikaya. So, ye sancharanti avihita vikata abhishankaha. They were moving everywhere, they were going everywhere without any obstruction, without any doubt. They had no idea of ours and theirs. Sarvatrate avismayaha. Everywhere they felt it's all there, open. It's all Lord's property. Nothing is mine, nothing is there. With open minds, they entered the 7th door out of their own will. Dwari etayor nirvivishur swadrushtya. Out of their own will, they passed through the 7th door. Just as they had passed through the other 6 doors, Yata Purva, which were made of gold and diamonds, Purata Vajra Kapatikaya. So in the purport, Prabhupada is saying, the childlike personalities entered all the 6 doors and no one checked them. Therefore, when they attempted to enter the 7th door, they were forbidden by doormen who checked them with their sticks, and they naturally became angry and sorrowful. The nature of a child has been elaborated. Because whenever a child is restricted from doing some activity, he becomes angry, he becomes sorrowful. He starts crying. Because these were not ordinary children, they did not cry, but they became angry and they wanted to retaliate for the situation. They wanted to curse the persons who had obstructed their entrance into Vaikuntha. The next verse continues with the same mood. Tan Viksha Vata Rasanam Chaturah Kumaran. So, when the doorkeeper saw Viksha, Vata Rasanams, who were all dressed with sky, means who had no clothes, they were all naked, small boys. Chaturah Kumaran, how many people did they see? They saw 4 Kumaras. Vruddhan Dashartha Vayaso Viditatma Tatvan. Although they are oldest of the old, they are the oldest first personalities created by Brahma, Vruddhan. But Dashartha Vayashaha, they almost look like half 10, means 5 years old. Dasha Ardhaha. Although they are the oldest of the old, but they are looking like only 5-year-old boys. Viditatma Tattvan, and they are completely aware of the realized absolute truth. Viditatma Tattvan, Atma Tattvan, they know about self-realization. They are expert in that subject. Vetrena Chashkalayatam Atat Arhanam Stav. Vetrena with their sticks. Cha Ashkalatam, when they were forbidden. Atat Arhanam Stav, which was not deserving for the great sages. This is not the etiquette of respecting the sages. Tejo Vihasya Bhagavat Pratikula Shilo. They became angry. Tejaha, all the glories. When their glories were obstructed, Vihasya Bhagavat Pratikula Shilo. Because they are having a disposition which is against to the Supreme Lord. So the 4 Kumaras could understand these doorkeepers were not with the intention of the Supreme Lord. Because when somebody comes, a great personality comes to have darshan of the Lord, who is also a great devotee, so it is the etiquette to give them an opportunity to have darshan of the Lord. Because Lord is open-minded, He is for the sages, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Itacha. So these are the greatest Brahmanas, they are the greatest sages. So Lord is always favorably disposed to them. But the Kumaras, when the Kumaras were obstructed by Jaya and Vijaya, they felt they are not in sync with the owner of the house. Pratikula Shilo, that is the point. So, they took this as an offense, Vaishnava aparadha, and they wanted to curse the personalities so that they could be taught how to behave or how this etiquette has to be maintained. So, in Vaishnava dealings, this is actually, see, both are Vaishnavas only. So, in the dealings of the Vaishnavas, if one person tries to offend the other Vaishnava, what actually happens? So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this in one perspective in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, quoting some references Prabhupada had written in that purport. This is from Hari Bhakti Vilasa, from Skanda Purana. Yohi Bhagavatam Lokam Upahasam Rupottama. Oh my dear king, Rupottama. Yohi Bhagavatam Lokam Upahasam. If somebody makes fun of Bhagavata, the supreme devotee, Karoti Tasya Nashyati Artha Dharma Yasha Shutaha. He will lose everything. Karoti Tasya Nashyanti. He will lose everything. What and all? Artha, money. Dharma, his pious activities, the result of his pious activities. Yashaha, his reputation. And Sutaha, his sons. He will lose all these qualities. Nindam kurvanti ye muda Vaishnavan Mahatmanam. So those who blaspheme the Vaishnavas, Nindam, Patanti Pitrubi Sardam Maharaurava Samyate. So the person who has offended the Vaishnavas, he, along with his entire family members, ancestors and all, will fall into the Naraka called as Maharaurava. Hanti Nindanti Vaidvesti Vaishnavan Nabhinandati Krudyate Yati Yo No Harsham Darshane Patanti Sat. So Hanti, whoever kills, Nindanti, whoever blasphemes, Shardam, Vaidvesti, whoever envies a Vaishnava, Na Abhinandanti, so or he becomes angry, Krudyanti, Yato Na Harsham, Darshane Patanani Sat. So these are the 6 ways how a person offends a Vaishnava. What are the 6 ways? One who kills or blasphemes a Vaishnava, or whoever is envious of a Vaishnava, or angry with him, or whoever does not offer him obeisances or feel joy upon seeing him, certainly falls into a hellish condition. These are 6 ways how one can offend a Vaishnava. Now further quotations come. Karapatraischa falyante sutivrer yamashashanai nindam kurvanti ye papa Vaishnavanam mahatmanam. So those sinful people who blaspheme the Vaishnavas, who are all very great souls, mahatmanam, are subjected to severely punishment by Yamaraja. Ye nindanti Hrishikesham tad bhaktam punya rupinam. Those who blaspheme the Supreme Lord Hrishikesha, tad bhaktam, his associates, his devotees, who are all most pious personalities, punya rupinam. Shata janmarchitam punyam tesham nashyanti nishchitam. The punya what he had accumulated for hundreds of births will be lost forever. Te pachyante mahagore kumbhipake bayanake. And he will be put into a hell called as Kumbhipaka. Bhakshitaha kita sangena yavat chandra divaukasho. And he will be eaten away by insects. For how long? As long as there are sun and moon in this universe. That long he has to suffer in that hell. Shri Vishnur avamanat gurutaram Shri Vaishnava ullonganam. The greatest offense is to offend a Vaishnava than to offend Vishnu. Tadiya dushaka janan na pashyat purushadaman tai sardam vanchaka janai sahavasam na karayet. So one should not therefore see the face of a person who blasphemes Vishnu or his devotees. Never try to associate with such persons. If we associate, we will be losing our credentials also. Like if we associate with thief, what happens to us? We develop the tendencies. So we associate with people who are blasphemers of Vaishnavas. What happens to us? We develop the same qualities. So for example, you see, Daksha, he blasphemed Lord Shiva in the open assembly. Many sages, they did not obstruct. Some people laughed at the situation. Some people added to that point, like somebody is pouring fire. You add petrol to it. What happens? It grows more. So verbal support like that, few other sages have supported Daksha. The result, the consequence was, everybody got punished. Daksha got severe punishment. The others who supported him got heavy punishment. Not severe, heavy punishment. Jai Shri Shri Radha. So in the same perspective, that's why Shastras recommend us not to associate with this mentality of people who are blasphemers of Vaishnavas. So in Bhagavatam also it is said, Nindam Bhagavataha Shrunvams Tat Parasya Janasyava. If somebody is blaspheming a Vaishnava, and if you hear, Tato napnoti yah so api yati yadah sukruta achyutaha. So if somebody blasphemes either achyutaha or his devotee, he falls down from devotional service. See, both are Vaishnavas. Now unless if you blaspheme another Vaishnava, we lose our bhakti to the Lord. And Shastras also says, Prabhu bole Vaishnava nindaya ei jana kushta roga kon tara satiya likana. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prabhu bole Vaishnava nindaya ei jana. Anyone who does this Vaishnava ninda, kushta roga kon tara satiya likana. It is written in the literatures that he will be afflicted with leprosy, kushti roga. Apatataha shastri kichu hoyache matra arakata ache yama yatanara patra. and after which he will be punished by the agents of Yamaraja again and again. 84 सहस्र यमयातना पर्ये के पुनः पुनः करी बुंजे वैष्णव निंदा के. And he will has to take in 84 in 84 lakh species. He has to go in that cycle of birth and death for many lifetimes. So he has to suffer bunje Vaishnava nindake, because he is blasphemous of a Vaishnava. He had to suffer in many lower forms of life. Hena Vaishnavera ninda kare yei jana sei paya dukkha janma jivana marana. Therefore, anybody who blasphemes a Vaishnava suffers miseries both in life and in after death also. Vidya kula tapassaba vifala tahara. So all his education, high birth and austerities, everything becomes useless. Vifala. Vaishnava nindaye ei papi durachara. Those who are blasphemers, those who are miscreants, those who are offenders of the Vaishnavas, for them everything will be lost, useless. Pujavo tahara Krishna nakare grahana Vaishnavera ninda kare ye papista jana. Those sinful people, those who are offenders, who when they offend Vaishnavas and they try to worship Vishnu, the Lord does not accept their devotional service. Like it is like with one hand you are feeding and the other hand you are beating. So example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the same example. एक हाथ से खिला रहा, दूसरा हाथ से लात मार रहा. So Lord does not accept that. Sulapani samayedi Vaishnavera ninde tatapiha nasha hoya kahe shastra vrinde ihana maniyaye sujana ninda kare janme sei papista deva dosha mare. So it is the conclusion of all revealed scriptures. So those who blaspheme a devotee is doomed forever. For such a person, everything is torn to pieces by the powerful trident of the sinful reactions. A sinful person who disregards his principle and insults great souls will suffer birth after birth for his offense. Tatapi ha Vaishnavera ninda yei jana tanhare shasta ache Sri Chaitanya Narayana. So if anyone blasphemes a Vaishnava, he will be punished by the Supreme Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vaishnava ye dekaha gala gali paramarde nahe itte Krishna kutuhali. The quarrels between Vaishnavas are not to be taken seriously, for they are pastimes in relation with Lord Krishna. Understood? Now both are Vaishnavas here. Kumaras are also Vaishnavas and the gatekeepers are also Vaishnavas. So these quarrels between Vaishnavas should not be taken any seriously. This is simply a pastime of the Lord. See, for this one small incident, how many incarnations came? How many came? Varaha, Narasimha, Rama, Lakshmana, Krishna, Balarama. 6 incarnations came for just one small incident. That's why Chaitanya Bhagavatam is saying, don't take it serious. It's all pastimes of the Lord. Now, see, now we understood the problem. Now, how to come out for this solution? Ye Vaishnavastane aparadha hoya yara punah se kshamila se gucche nahe yara. So, if you have offended a Vaishnava, you have to go back and beg forgiveness from him only. There is no other opportunity. Like, kanta fute yei muke se muke yaya paya kanta putile ki skanda bahiraya. So, if there is a thorn which has pricked your leg, how do you remove the thorn? So, you have to remove it by one more thorn. Or something like there is a thorn pierced in your leg and you are trying to massage your shoulder. Is it logical? So, wherever there is injury, it has to be cured there only. It cannot be cured somewhere else. So, if you had offended a Vaishnava, you have to beg forgiveness from that Vaishnava only, not by somebody else. See how logically Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is presenting all these topics. Because in the context in Chaitanya Charitamrita, some places where that we see Srivas Pandit was offended by, what is that person? Gopal Chakravarti. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu condemned him, that leprosy, all these things and all. In that context only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was explained the importance of Vaishnava aparadha. Then there are some more personalities who had offended Vaishnavas. There was one god brother of Ishwarpuri who comes, Ramachandrapuri. He comes and he feeds Vaishnavas nicely. Our cow. See, we know our capacity. I can eat 2 chapati, somebody can eat 3 chapati. First he will ask them how much you can eat. So he will serve them that much. After eating, then he will put double the quantity, triple the quantity. And one etiquette is, if something is put on our plate, we don't want to throw. So devotees would eat because he is feeding. And he is like a fatherly personality. He is like an elderly senior personality, Guru's Guru or Guru's contemporary, like in the level of a spiritual master. So they were thinking out of love he is feeding and they were eating. After eating everything, when they were washing their hands, he used to come and say, see how much you have eaten. So much you people eat. And you say you are all renounced and you are all sannyasis. You see how much you are eating. 4 people food you are eating alone. And he used to blaspheme people like that. He was finding fault with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one day he came in the morning to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house. There were some black ants going around the house. See, he started contemplating. The ants are there should be sugar. Sugar means there should be sweet. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is eating sweet. That's why so many ants are there in the house. He is secretly eating sweets. Where there are no ants, everywhere around the world there are ants. But still he is contemplating about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is secretly eating sweets. See, without any reason he is blaspheming personalities. He is such a personality that he started directing his Guru, Madhavendra Puri, at the last stage of his life. When he was on the deathbed, 2 personalities, 2 examples they give. One was Ishwara Puri, one was Ramachandra Puri. Ishwara Puri was very nicely serving Madhavendra Puri by cleaning up his body, by dressing him, by giving him opportunity to listen. He was reading various songs, various books and various philosophies and chanting the holy name for him. So Madhavendra Puri at that time he was praying to the Lord, oh my Lord, where are you? Will I get an opportunity to have your darshan? All these things and that. And Ramachandra Puri was criticizing his Guru. Why are you crying? Why are you struggling hard? Meditate on that impersonal Brahman. So Madhavendra Puri became very angry. He said, if you are here, I will not be able to remember Krishna. You go away from here. See, one person is trying to serve in a favorable way, another person is trying to serve his Guru in not a favorable way. Because he was trying to offend his Guru, he lost all his credentials. And he started using the same quality in finding faults with other personalities, other Vaishnavas. See, sometimes they are all eternal personalities of the Lord. They have come for a specific purpose sometimes to teach us what are the etiquettes. Because Krishna, if he wants, like generally they say, if a mother-in-law wants to teach her daughter-in-law the etiquettes, how will she teach her? Through her daughter she will teach her. The Supreme Lord sometimes, if he had to teach etiquette for the people in general, he will teach through his devotees. So they would have accepted a negative role on behalf of the Lord so that we will all be taught how to handle the Vaishnavas, how to respect Vaishnavas. So similarly, there were various personalities. In context wise, we see in Vrindavan when we go, the first temple to be built in Vrindavan was, which is the first temple? Madan Mohan was the first temple. So what is that story and how it came into picture? There are 2 versions of the story. So Sanatana Goswami was taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He gave him the complete knowledge. And he was given the order to revive the lost places of Vrindavana and write devotional literature which will be like guidelines for the devotees. So with these 2 orders they entered Vrindavana and they were roaming everywhere in search of that original deities which were installed by Vajranabha. There were around 6 deities which were installed by Vajranabha, like Madan Mohan, Govindji, Gopinathji, Sakshi Gopal, Srinathji, and one more deity was there. These were the 6 deities which were originally established by Vajranava. But over a period of time, they all became lost, oblivious. So the Goswamis were always contemplating how to bring them out, how to come them out. So one day when Sanatana Goswami was going everywhere, he is roaming everywhere in search of the deities. So he was contemplating, when will I get an opportunity? So hardly they sleep for a minute. So while chanting, he dozed for a moment. So in that moment, he experienced a dream in which he saw a beautiful deity. He was serving that beautiful deity. And the deity was with some Brahmana's family. So he went there. He had asked that Brahmana to hand over the deity to him. But that Brahmana could not respond anything. So that dream ended in such a way that it was unsuccessful for him to get the deity. After some time, when he was roaming around Mathura, when he came to one house, that person's name was Purushottama Chaube. Some people also say as Parashar Chaube, or different names were there. So he went to that house and he saw that same personality, the deity in that house, and the children of that house were playing with the deity as one among them. And the wife of Mr. Chaube was also serving that personality like the children. Like when you want to feed a child, there are 3 children in the house. How will you serve them? Make everybody sit, keep everybody's plate, and you start serving them the food and you ask them to eat. So she was treating that deity also as her own child, and she was treating the child as the other children like the deity also. So he became little disturbed and he said, this is not the way how the Supreme Lord has to be served. So he immediately called that lady and he informed that lady, this is not the way how the Lord has to be treated. He is the greatest personality. With awe and reverence he has to be worshipped. So he gave them the instructions how to serve the deity, how to handle him the offerings, and how to take care of him. And he went back home. And in the night, he had a dream in which the Lord appeared to him and he explained to him that till now he has been enjoying very nicely the motherly affection. From today, you went and instructed her and she started taking care of me in a different way. So I am losing that capacity as that service from her motherly love. I am missing her love. And the children were not playing with me now. Now I don't have any companions to play. And he requested, okay, do one thing, because I have done as a sufficient service they have done. Now we can go and ask that Brahmana to surrender the deity to you. So I want to come and now stay with you. Similarly, a dream has come in the Chaube's dream, Chaube also. So it was said to him that so you have many children, you can sacrifice me as gift to Sanatana Goswami so that I can go and stay with him. So you have served me very nicely. So if this is my wish, if I go to him, I will be more happy. Now how did this deity actually come to Chaube? So when Advaita Acharya, when he was roaming around Vrindavana, so he came to Mahavan area or somewhere, and one place he says at Advaitavat he found the deity. Some places say, some version says at Mahavana he found the deity. So the deity was there with him and he was worshipping them. Because he was roaming around, he could not have permanent residence. So he wanted to go back to Navadvip. But the deity explained to him, no, he doesn't want to leave Vrindavan. He said, I have to be in Vrindavan only, I can't go out of Vrindavana. So Advaita Acharya could not do anything. So he handed over that to the Chaube family and asked them to take care of that family for the deity, and he went away. In that way, the deity landed with Chaube. So and Chaube was taken care of very nicely only. So next day morning when Sanatana Goswami went back to explain to him, sorry, please forgive me, you worship him as it is. And Chaube also explained to him the dream what he had, in which the Lord had ordered him to give away the deity to him. And he asked him to take care of the deity because he also know that one more Vaisnava was there. He is also a great personality, because if Lord wants to go to him means he is a greater personality, he is a better Vaisnava. So he also happily handed over the deity, and the deity was brought to Vrindavan, and where in that Dwadasha Tila, on the top of the hill, the deity was placed, and in a small kutir, Sanatana Goswami started worshipping him. And Sanatana Goswami put one condition. See, he said, see, I beg dry chapatis, I beg wheat flour from the local people, and I can't eat luxury foods. I can't offer you anything. The deity said, no problem, whatever you offer, I will take. So, but Sanatana Goswami said, even salt will not be there sometimes. So, what they do, they mix the dough with water, Yamuna water, and they roast it near the fire. It is called as bhati. Dal bhati churma, something like that, bhati. And they eat that powder. They crush that roti powder and they eat bhati. So, Sanatana Goswami was offering all these things. So, every day the deity was accepting. After some time, the deity one day said to him, please, can you give me little salt? So, Sanatana Goswami said, today you will ask me salt, tomorrow you will ask me ghee, day after tomorrow you will ask me Rajbhog. I am sannyasi, I have no other work or what. You see, what was his intention? See, he wants to serve the Lord. But the thing is, his order by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is what? To write devotional literature. So, he is saying, this will be hampering my service. I will not be able to take care of you. So, when he informed, deity said, okay, you don't worry, you give me whatever you offer, I will eat. So, then after some time, when there was a big boat which was carrying salt and various important materials. When it came near Yamuna, it got stuck up into that sand because of the shallow waters. So, that owner of that ship, he came and he was looking for people to help him. Around that area, he saw one small cowherd boy. So, he went to that boy and he had asked him, so is there somebody who can help me? That boy took that personality to Sanatana Goswami and he said, he can help you. So, he went and fell down at Sanatana Goswami's feet and requested him, so, my dear sir, please help me. My boat was stuck up. So, Sanatana Goswami said, see, I am very busy, I don't have any time for this. I am very busy. There is a deity inside, go and ask him if he can help you. So, he went inside. When he saw Madan Mohanji, he became very fascinated. He fell down at his feet and he offered prayers and he requested the Lord, please help me. As soon as he requested, there was a heavy downpour. For next 1 hour, 2 hours, there was heavy rain, so much so that the entire area became flooded with water. When the Yamuna level started rising, the immediately boat got freed up from that sand and immediately it started moving. He thanked very much profusely Sanatana Goswami. He said, how can I serve you? So, Sanatana Goswami said, do your business first and come back. So, he went to Agra, he sold all his goods and there was heavy profit for him and he came back. And he said, he offered all that profit to the Lord. And Sanatana Goswami said, you build a temple for the Lord. So in that way, the first temple was built. It was a monumental temple in Vrindavan. Later that first phase was built and when it developed some cracks, again one more phase was built, second building was built. That's why you see two buildings there at Madan Mohana. One small one and the other big one. The first the small one was built, later the bigger one was built. So this was 10 years, 1580 this temple was inaugurated, 1590 Govindji was inaugurated. So after some time what happens in 16th century when Aurangzeb started attacking all the temples. So the deities were shifted everywhere to different places. Raja Man Singh of Jaipur. So he immediately shifted the deity towards Jaipur. So when he went there, Jaipur, when he handed over his own palace for the deities there. And they were being worshipped there. So his brother-in-law was there, one Gopal Singh. He is from Karoli area. So he got a dream in which Lord requested him to take him to Karoli. I want to come to Karoli. So he went and informed his brother-in-law that Man Singh that Lord instructed me to go to Karoli. So Man Singh put a request, condition. Okay, I will give you the deity, but one condition, I will blindfold you and take you inside. All the three deities will be there. Govindji, Gopinathji and Madan Mohanji. If you can identify rightly Madan Mohan, you can take him to Karoli. So that night, he was praying because it was a test for him. He was praying to the Lord, my dear Lord, you had asked me, now there is a test, how I can identify you? All three will be similar, Govindji, Gopinathji, Madan Mohanji. So when Krishna instructed him, next day morning when you come and when you touch me, I will lower my right hand down. So when I do that, you will get to know who I am. So similarly, when next day morning when he went to Madan Mohanji itself first. When he touched the feet, the lower hand down, he had down his right hand down. So and that's why you see they put two flutes to balance that deity, that angle position. So in that way, Madan Mohanji went and landed in Karoli. So there was one Many pastimes Lord also performed there because Lord is very Bhakta Vatsala. So this is around a few hundred years back, this pastime happened. There is one village called as Bugda. There lived some cowhead families who were serving milk for the deity, for the Madan Mohanji. So one lady, she used to come every day, have darshan of the Lord and honor his prasadam. So the deity became very much satisfied by her devotional attitude. One day Madan Mohana went to her village. The lady was lying on the bed and she was chanting the holy name of the Lord. And when she saw the Madan Mohana himself there, she immediately got up. She placed one woolen blanket onto the seat and she had made the Lord to sleep there. And she started serving, massaging his feet. Over a period of time, Lord fell asleep and she also fell asleep. So while Lord was sleeping, he kept his chadar, which is yellow chadar, he kept it aside. When it was early morning, Lord became very urgent. So he thought, no, it is early morning now. Devotees will come and wake me up in the temple. So I have to be immediately go back to temple. So he immediately got up, picked up that blue color cloth which was there as a asana, and he picked up and that went away in a hurry. So next day morning when the pujaris opened the temple, they saw suddenly some blue color cloth which was some cheap cloth which was there wrapped on the deity. And they were all thinking, we did not put this cloth onto the deity. What happened to the chadar? And they were contemplating what happened. By around 7 o'clock when she came to offer the milk and when she brought that cloth back to the temple, they all wondered, what is this pastime? The Lord handed over. She explained that Lord had come yesterday night. He slept in my house. So when he slept, I was massaging his feet, and when she narrated the entire event, then they could understand. The Lord is so much devoted. Lord is so much affectionate towards his devotees. He goes to their houses also. Like that, various pastimes Lord had performed. He has been performing. Many things were untold because they were all by word of mouth only they were being communicated. They were never written in the Shastras and all. But these are all the things how Lord attracts the devotees. He fascinates us. He attracts our attention. He draws our consciousness towards him. So that we become somehow or other hooked to him and we engage in devotional service. That was to encourage us, to enthuse us in our devotional service. Lord performs various pastimes. So one such pastime is this, like with Sanatana Goswami, then other related. One more alternate version is there, which we will hear in some other class. I will stop here. Any questions or doubts? See, Vaisnava aparadha means generally when we offend Vaishnavas. Either one Vaishnava offends another Vaishnava or a common person offends a Vaishnava. Like there were many circumstances in Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Nityananda Prabhu went to a village, there was one person by name Ramchandra Khan. He offended Nityananda Prabhu. So he and his entire family and his entire village was lost. Look at various circumstances were there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was explaining. So he is not a devotee, but since he was Shakta worshipper, he tried to offend Vaishnavas. He lost all his credentials. So there was one more personality who offended Haridas Thakur. Then he also felt with leprosy and his nose fell off. Then there was one Amoga who was son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He offended Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he also felt with leprosy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revived him because of he was in relation with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Like that, many circumstances wise. So it is explained, we have to be very careful in dealings with Vaishnavas. The Vaishnavas will not take it seriously, but Lord takes it very seriously. Okay. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेम।